And I think the Central Time Zone, y'all are almost at midnight. Surprise, surprise, it is I, Miss Sophia the Diva. If this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe, like, and share. Also, just because, sharing is caring. And if you check out my videos, you might just learn something. How about that? Anyway, y'all, I just wanted to hop on here. Hopefully, real quick, because the other night really was supposed to be quick, but when people come in and have questions and need clarity, like that poor child that's coming over here. Look, here goes my son. Like that poor dear that's coming over here from Sweden. Excuse me, from Sweden. Child. I really hate the fact that the propaganda about black Americans are so grim. Um, I just, I don't understand what is the point because we're not all bad people. They're just bad people in the world and it doesn't really matter their color, right? But anyways, I wanted to hop on here and share this story with y'all. Y'all, today somebody was going to jail, and let's just say that somebody better be glad that I wasn't packing heat. Okay. So this morning when I got up to start to get ready for work, it must have been around 8 o'clock. And it had to be because usually that's when I wake up. Like that's when I'm the most aware. Unless I'm able to wake up by 5:15 and take my dog out for a walk. But that ain't been happening because I've just been like exhausted. So anyway, Ava was outside barking, but that's not unusual because sometimes if the neighbors next door come out the door, she'll bark. But so I wasn't thinking anything of it. But then my doorbell rung unexpectedly. Now, I am one of those people who, if you come by my house unannounced and I'm not expecting you, I do not answer the door. And even when I had a Ring camera, I would not answer the door. I would not answer the ring, which I need to put mine back up. As a matter of fact, after I get off of this live stream, I need to log into Amazon and order a mount for my Ring camera. So anyway, this person, so I make Ava come in from the backyard because she hears the doorbell and the banging on the door. And she comes in and she's barking. And so I tiptoed to the door and was looking to see who was at my door. Y'all, it was some man in some sunglasses and one of them gaiters. You know, the thing that covers pretty much all of this, like complete coverage, right? And he looked like, honest to God, he looked like an ICE agent or a home invader, okay? So I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, who is this at my door? And what made it wouldn't have been so bad. It's one thing if you ring my doorbell twice, knock on the door a couple of times, because you think maybe someone didn't hear the bell or you can't tell that the bell is ringing. Maybe it's broken. You just don't know. So this went on seemingly for about 5 to 7 minutes, maybe, give or take. I said, okay, someone is trying to break into my house because not only did he bang on the door, he banged on a couple of the windows. Why? So then I said, you know what, I'm going to call the police. F it. Henderson, y'all need to come out here. There is some strange man at my door. He will not stop ringing the doorbell, and he will not stop knocking on my door and windows. This is bizarre. So Henderson shows up, and they were like, well, what do you look like? What do you have on? I said, I don't know what he looked like, honestly. I said, I was so freaked out and scared that someone was actually trying to break in my house. And so they sent Officer, what was his name, Madrid's? Anyway, he came over, he did a perimeter check. He also came through the house and did a look around the backyard in case the person was hiding in the backyard. There was another yard man next door doing some work for my neighbors. And I said, that's definitely not him because he had a gaiter on. This guy just has like some sort of loose fitting hoodie around or whatever, you know, doing yard work. So after the call, so they tell me I've got officers in the neighborhood scouring the neighborhood looking for this person. Do you know if he showed up in a vehicle? I said, I don't know anything. I just looked out the peephole. I said, I'm gonna tell you something. I watch so many crime shows and I see how this goes. People answer the door and they end up missing or, dead. I mean, it's just that simple, or maimed, or wish they were, because heaven forbid he was trying to rape me. Now, mind you, I've got a guard dog, basically. I have a Cane Corso. Now, Corsos have will have the strongest bite force. But this is also my child. I do not want my child to get into danger, even though she is what she is bred for, is to guard me and protect me. I do not want that. So, about, I don't know, probably 15 minutes after the officer left, I get a phone call from, hi, this is Benjamin Cheese Service. This is Sophia. Hi. So my guys were just out there and they said that they'll come back if you. You mean to tell me that was the tree service man? Like, what tree was he trying to get to? There's not that many on this property. There's one in the front. And there's two, okay, actually I think I have 3 trees in the back, okay? So there's a big ass palm tree, a Japanese palm. And so I don't know what had happened. So I said, you mean to tell me, I said, honey, he was about to go to jail because I called the cops on him. Okay, I said, the way he was banging at my door, I said, all you need to do is ring somebody's bell twice. I said, I don't even answer the door for Jehovah's Witness or the little Mormon boys out here on bicycles and they white shirts, ties, asking us, do we know Jesus? So she goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So then I call Horace, the property manager. Horace, somebody almost went to jail. And I said, it could have been even worse had I had a sidearm. That's all I'm going to say. Now, I'm not one of them people that go out, pew, pew, pew. No, because I know how to handle myself better than that. I was trained to handle myself better than that. But I told him, I said, I had no clue that the tree people were coming over. I said, there's nothing on Appfolio. What's the deal? So basically what was supposed to happen, the tree service, because I don't know. First of all, I didn't know this neighborhood had an HOA, and here's why. Because when you go look it up, because I went to go see how old the house was and all this stuff, and HOA, it says none. So I guess maybe my neighbors with the boxers on the other side, I guess maybe the Japanese fan palm was disturbing their peace or whatever. I don't know what the fuck happened. Some kind of way a report was made to the property management office or somebody contacted the actual landlord, and lo and behold, they send the tree service out. However, the deal was the tree service was supposed to call and set up an appointment with me. They did not. Instead, what they ended up doing is sending someone out here who is a freaking maniac, who doesn't understand that you banging on somebody's door and they're not expecting you, you could end up getting harmed, okay? But then on the flip side of it, maybe he thought there was an appointment set because that's what he was led to believe by dispatch. And lo and behold, no one's answering the door. Why is no one answering the door? There was an appointment made, right? I mean, where the person live here? Okay. But it was so crazy this morning. I had to text my manager and my assistant and my backup to let them know, hey, I'm going to be later than usual because I'm calling the cops. And it's just that plain and simple, because you just don't know. I have seen way too many shows where people will set up there and, who answers the door at 3 o'clock in the morning? Who does that? I'm not answering the door at 3 o'clock in the morning. You better stay behind downstairs. And if you keep ringing my door, I'm going to call Popo. 12, I need y'all to show up. Okay, that's what I need you to do. And one of the things I appreciate about the city of Henderson is that these officers will pop up. Okay, they all over here in the apartment complex looking for the possible home invader. I mean, it didn't even have to go down like that. But the moral of the story is this: communication is key. All my property managers should have done is, number one, inform me that that a tree service was going to be contacting me, and that would have been the end of it. And then the tree service would have contacted me had they done what they were supposed to do, and all would have been right in the world. Instead, you got this lady at home freaking out, thinking ICE agents are looking for me, or someone is trying to break in the house and get to me. I don't know what's going on. This is crazy. So anyway, we say Ava did her thing, She let them know she was back there. Because when the lady called, no, Horace said, the dude was like, well, her dog was back there. And so I didn't want to go back there. You couldn't get back there anyway because my gate is locked unless you were going to jump the gate. And that's a whole other problem for me. I honestly want to ask my landlord, can we get a cactus installation on the side? Because I live in a cul-de-sac, and on the other side of the cul-de-sac is apartments. Why are young people jumping the wall to get to the other side? It's a shortcut for them, no doubt. But it's still a little scary because one night I was taking the trash out of the garage and putting it on the curb. And in my peripheral, I sensed somebody was scared shit at me. Wouldn't even bother me. Just get shit at me. Okay? So anyway, needless to say, all is well in the world. But again, communication rules the nation. There's a chain of command that should have been followed here, and it was not, or excuse me, a proper protocol on how to book a tree trimming appointment. I told that lady, I said, look, I gotta go to work. And if he come by, the gate is open. The dog will not be in the backyard. Do his thing, and I apologize for calling the cops on him. Crazy. Just crazy. Anyway, I need to look up some stuff too. I need to take a deeper dive. So I just came across another true crime story. Another mother, strangled her children to death with her exercise bands. Lindsay Clancy. Y'all, I had never heard of this case, but this is a case out of, was it Duxbury, Massachusetts? I had never heard of this case until I ended up in this Facebook group about true crime, and people were talking about, do you think Lindsay Clancy's, how she afford this attorney? He's expensive. And I'm like, who the hell is this? Then when I was on Instagram, I saw that Nancy Grace was talking. I don't care if she's crying. Those 3 babies are dead. And she did it. Nancy, we got to get a poor lady some kind of grace. Clearly she was suffering from some sort of psychosis. Okay. So apparently this Lindsay Clancy lady, in the dead of winter, I guess the husband wasn't home. She is a former nurse. And I mean, even if you're not a doctor, I would think that as a nurse, you have some sort of oath to live by, do no harm. But what they are claiming as a defense for her is that she was insane at the time that she committed this crime due to the fact that she was suffering from postpartum psychosis. And I have not read up completely on it, but it is my understanding from the comments in the true crime group that this lady had been seeking help and no one would help her or take her seriously. She kept saying that she wanted to do things, and when she finally executed it, acted on these impulses, these uncontrolled feelings, hello, welcome to the chat of wanting to do something. Apparently, no one was there to help. They are claiming that she took some pills and it was below the therapeutic levels. That was her way of trying to take her own life after strangling her children with this exercise equipment, right? And there was a nurse in the comments under Nancy Grace that said, she had worked in labor and delivery as a nurse, and she says, you'd be surprised how many women suffer with postpartum psychosis. It can manifest itself in all forms. I wish more people took it seriously. But the lady, here's the thing. I said Karma was swift with this one. Baby, she tried to jump out a window. Well, she did jump out a window. Ended up in the snow in the dead of winter. Spinal cord cracked. Be damn. She paralyzed. Body temperature dropping. Almost died out there. So she would have gotten what she wanted. But I'm going to take a deeper dive into it because I said, ooh, this is giving Andrea Yates. But there was, because even with Andrea Yates, there were problems. And recently, as of last year, I think it was, they did some sort of docu-series on this cult that Rusty had turned her on to. And Rusty is diabolical. Rusty Yates is diabolical. I'll say that. Because I could tell that when he was talking during this docu-series, he just didn't get it. It's like not registering. Like with the religious zealot y'all were following, that you turned her on to, and this person, she's also seeking treatment, but at the same time, this religious zealot is, you don't need medicine, you don't need this. That's a red flag in and of itself if they start telling you don't need medicine. But I think at one point with Andrea Yates, they had told them that she only had no more babies, and you just kept making babies with her because y'all want as many babies as God would allow. That's crazy, especially when doctors are telling you it's not a good idea. Now, I don't know what the deal was with this nurse Clancy lady. All I know, her husband Patrick done left her. Okay, they divorced. He loved having a family, and through her struggles, he was there. But I'm like, now she didn't allowed, you couldn't stand by. But she needed help, and she was asking for help. I mean, it almost reminds me of some story. I think it was in New Mexico, Arizona, where a guy knew he would offend again, and he kept begging for help, and nobody would help him because he was a serial rapist, okay, a sexual predator. And he eventually, I think eventually for him to get prosecuted, he had raped and murdered somebody. I don't know. But mental illness is real. Can we use it as a defense? Absolutely. And it is unfortunate that it becomes a situation until it happens to you or until you see someone you truly love suffer through this stuff that you'll believe it. I'm a huge advocate and I believe in mental health treatment, seeking help. There's nothing wrong with getting help. If you need help, raise your hand. The problem is sometimes you raise your hand and people don't take you seriously. I watched a video clip today of a young lady who was talking about when people get diagnosed with ADHD and how people are like, oh girl, that isn't even real. I think by far when I was formally diagnosed, the most disappointing thing was my mother not believing it was real. And I'm like, how the hell do you not believe it's not real when you were a school teacher for God knows how many years? And I'm pretty sure you probably had some children that were truly hyperactive and probably were in special ed classes part of the day. So it's real. Like, I cannot make my executive function, okay? But at the same time, having it is having a superpower because we are able to see and analyze and think prospectively and logically, but sometimes we do get stuck. I remember one time, I love her, but she was like, I'm a prayer to us. No, 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 no. We don't pray away ADHD. This is a blessing. I'm able to function. I'm able to do great things because, like everyone says, anyone that has ADHD, we work the hardest. You ain't gonna outwork us. Now, in my older age, in perimenopause, it's a different story because there's brain fog, there's, hormones raging out of control, and you're just kind of like, you know what, I need to sit this one out. Uh, but anyways, mental illness is real. Postpartum psychosis is real. Maybe old girl, when she popped them pills, thought she was taking enough to take her out. Because maybe they told her if you take more than 5 and 6 hours, maybe it would take you out. I don't know. But I am going to take a deeper dive into Lindsay Clancy. Sydney Starr, you are a disgusting human being. How dare you take advantage of a child? Where is Chris Hansen when we need him? So if you haven't heard, Sydney Starr was in Hateville, Atlanta, which I've been time and time again because there's a comedy club out there. Uptown Comedy was the Uptown Comedy Corner. And then there's, there's a couple of other ones too. Maybe it's just that one. I'm thinking of something else. But either way, Sydney Starr, I think she was on Zeus Network. I don't know how this individual got famous, but what I do remember is that she, by the way, is transgender. She transitioned from a man to a woman, is my understanding that she has had the bottom procedure completed, thanks to Darius McQuarrie, aka Eddie Winslow, whom I guess they were messing around or were just friends. I don't know. But she didn't destroy Chinky's career as a whole, but she did damage to it. He lost a record deal behind that because she claimed that he was sleeping with her. And let's be real, not everybody is sympathetic to a man that has a fetish for a she-male, transgender, whatever you want to call trans woman, whatever. Not everybody's sympathetic to that. And some people, because Hollywood can be a toxic place. And with the type of music he was making, that's definitely a toxic, it can be a toxic genre. Now, I'm still confused as to age of this child. Apparently, there was some sort of baseball league thing going on for the children, and some kind of way at this Embassy Suites, Sydney Starr got this little boy to come to her room and performed, let's see, oral copulation, I believe is what it's called. And I guess she was gonna let him or force him to do it to her. I don't know, because they said a condom fell out. I said, but that's a woman having a condom. That doesn't necessarily mean that there was going to be penetration going on of any sort. But what I do know is that it's freaking disgusting. How dare you? And then what makes it so awful, like Funky Dineva said yesterday, is the fact that you already have an administration that has an agenda for you. You just made what they believe about you to be true, even though they are complicit in some crimes against children themselves. You ain't helping the situation for your people, okay? I personally have never been a fan. I really don't know what you're famous for, other than I don't know. Was she a baddie, a bad girl? I don't know. I know she was on the Zeus Network for a time, but needless to say, turkey, pork and beans is everywhere where you eat. And was this print face? Yes, girl, I do come in too late, but I just happen to, when the mood hits me, I hop on and do a live. And I'm talking about Sydney Starr right now. And where is Chris Hansen when we need him? Um, Actually, I saw a lot of people in Julian Cross's comments. I might do that if I take a lunch break. It is rare that I actually leave the office other than on payday Fridays or payday Thursday sometimes for me because cha-ching chime, they will pay you early. Um, but yeah, well, that might be a good idea. But girl, it is so hell hot in Vegas. It was 109 when I left the office. And that was at dusk. Um, but yeah, Sydney Starr, you just are not helping matters, and you should be ashamed of yourself. But I saw under Julian Cross's when he was doing stand up talking about Chris Hansen, talking about, remember how he used to they would set the guys up and they would actually stay in the house and wait when the little girl or little boy would leave. It is normal this time of year from May until October, the top of October, it's going to be hell hot. It feels like hell. And then somebody just posted in the Vegas group that I'm in on Facebook, hey, do you people really just stay in the house? Do y'all really just stay indoors all day and then only go out at night? Yeah, I'm a vampire now. Okay, I'm a vampire. I go to work, it still be hot. And, when I leave, it's usually dusk. So I go run, pick up my groceries, whatever, and go home because it's hell hot. I can't even get my exercise in. That's what I was telling my coworker. I said, I've gained back all this weight that I had lost because from, what was it, October up until about May, Lady Ava and I were getting our walk in. Like I would walk in the neighborhood, getting in about 2-3 miles a day of run walks. And if I can't get up in the mornings, once it's 6 o'clock, we not doing anything. Because number one, I don't have paw protectors for her paws. And number two, I don't want to be in the heat. Does Vegas get a monsoon season? Hell, I wish. I love thunderstorms. People think I'm weird for that, but I really do. What's the scientific name? Plufferfill or whatever it is, plufferfowl or whatever. I love the rain. But yeah, Sidney Cross said Chris Hansen's show got canceled because he was starting to bust. Well, people in the comments under Julian Cross comedy, y'all need to check him out if y'all don't know who that is. This man be giving the business on everything we're thinking about or should be considering. He does. Does Vegas? The heat is no joke. When the sun is down, it's nice. Yeah, it is. But somebody was saying Chris Hansen probably got taken off the air because law enforcement, government officials and stuff were getting busted. I'm like, we know. I mean, there is not a sector. You can be in the highest office in your country and have unsavory needs. Okay? Well, then that explains it. Chris Hansen busted a high-level official who unalived himself. I mean, I didn't know. I just know To Catch a Predator was pure comedy gold for us. Because, I mean, how stupid are you? How stupid are you? Like, these people, like, do you honestly think this 15-year-old lives in a luxury home? Come on now. But, that was pretty much all I wanted to talk about. But I may try to do a lunchtime live because I definitely want to research the Lindsay Clancy case. We still have to talk about the sister ended up suing. I don't know what happened. Well, what are you suing for? You suing for his proclivities, for the very things he should have been seeking help for? Sometimes now that I think about it, yeah, I'm going to do some research on that, but I'm also going to do this Lindsay Clancy. Sydney Starr. I did hear an attorney say, because people were like, oh, I thought they were going to get bonded out. No, during arraignment, that's not likely going to happen. And due to the nature of the charges that she's being held for, she's going to have to wait for her attorneys to get a bond hearing or something. So she won't be out. And even then, she may be bound over trial because sometimes attorneys will tell you just stay in jail, just stay in jail. But they said that she was being held she was separated and was in the population that's considered vulnerable. And I'm like, well, technically she is a woman because they said she had the bottom surgery. So, I mean, why don't y'all just put her with the women? Because she don't have no ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Okay, I'm just saying. I don't know how else to describe that. But I mean, they said the doctor that did her bottom surgery, I think, was the same doctor that did I Am Jazz. So I heard he does pretty good work. She's probably, yeah, and she's probably safer in jail. I mean, I honestly don't know what would possess you to act on that. And now I'm beginning to wonder how many other children have been sexually assaulted by this person. Like I said, I don't know Sydney Starr like that. I don't know her background. I don't know what the background was when she was a he and now she's a she. I don't know. I don't know what the background is, but what I do know is she old messy broad and now she in some mess. And then they said when the little boy tried to get away, I don't know if it was a little boy or a teenager. I don't know because I'm getting different numbers. I'm getting 13, 14, at one point 16. I don't know. They said that she forced him to allow her to perform fellatio on him, you know, and then she tried to pull the little boy's pants down and he tried to get away and he fell trying to get away from her. So yeah, you knew what you were doing. But I definitely want to research. Something apparently happened to Perez Hilton. I really look up. I never was a Perez Hilton fan. I guess he tried to harm himself during the TikTok live. I'll have to research that. Maybe we can talk about that at lunchtime. But again, the Lindsay Clancy case is a parallel to me and of Andrea Yates and that whole thing. I said, boy, y'all keep making babies with these women and they be telling you I'm losing my mind. I don't need another baby. Y'all just, Lord knows. Look up Lindsay. It's Lindsay with an A, not an E. Clancy. She strangled three of her children, ages 3, 5, and one was an infant. Strangled them with her exercise bands and then took some pills, jumped out a window, and it did not give her what it is that she wanted. Instead, she ended up with a broken spine or a cracked spine and ended up in a wheelchair bound. She paralyzed. And I said, boy, karma was swift, wasn't it? Because, Ava, that's enough. Do you need to go outside? Because you're not getting another treat. You just had a cow cheek. Okay, she said she need to go outside because that little sassy walk she doing. Yeah, look that up. I had never heard of it. Girl, I joined one of these true crime groups on Facebook. And, yeah, let me let this child outside. Lord help. Ava, you need to go outside. Okay, she really do need to go outside. Go ahead. Oh, Jesus. It's hot out here right now. Yeah, but I I found that one really interesting. And I need to look up that Michigan case too, where the guy lost his job, came home, and took out the whole family. I was like, why you have to kill everybody? You the one who lost the job. Don't you have life insurance? I mean, I'm just saying, they could have went on and leave their lives. I'm like, it's some craziness that goes on. And if you watch this video from the beginning, you'll hear how I talk about how, baby, I don't play. Don't show up at my house unannounced. I will call the cops. Hell, at the very least, you could have been like, I'm from the tree service people. I didn't know I needed tree cutting service. Chopped up the Japanese palm that's in the back. So, anyway, I'm going to bed because I'm going to try to get to work early. I always say that, but I don't know. The ADHD really do be hindering my lifestyle. You know, hey, Ava. Okay, will somebody please say hi to this child? Here she is. Look at Ava Marie. Ava Marie said, I was going to get that man at the door for my mama. You better not come over this. You better not come. Yeah, you better not come over this fence line. You better not come. I eat you up. She is. She mama boo boo. Oh, she mama baby. She's a big baby. Oh, mama love her. Mwah. But anyways, good night, y'all. I've been Miss Sophia the Diva. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, mainly because you might just actually learn something. So maybe I will do lunchtime, as one of my loyal followers just encouraged me to do. So if it's not too hot, I will go hop in the car like all these other quote unquote influencers and do that. But y'all have a great night. Have a great week. Again, happy Friday Eve. The weekend is almost here for us regular 9 to 5, us 40-hour week. Kiss my behind, Henry Ford. Good night.